What's up everybody, and welcome to yet another Angler X video. In this week's video, I'm fishing a large body of water in search of trophy pike. This video will be a two-part video, so make sure you look for the second half at a later date. I'll be fishing for trophy pike with my wife. I think you're going to love this week's video, chasing down trophy pike. Don't go anywhere. Today's video is brought to you by Liquid Willowcat. Go to liquidwillowcat.com to see their full product lineup. Fish. Oh, I finally hooked up. Trolling. Oh, feels like a good one. Just casting and casting. Not getting anything. Decided to troll up. Hooked up on my first fish. Oh, it's a big one. Yes. Yes. Oh, good fish. There we go, guys, my first pike. We're after giants. That's not a giant, but it's been tough. I've been casting and casting and casting, fishing for almost 2 hours, and decided to do a little trolling along the weed edge and hooked up on my first fish. Let's get that guy back. Maybe they're gonna crank up here in the evening. There it goes. Done well on pike with this bait in the past. This is Jake. Jake J6, I think is what it says. Had a big Booker fluorocarbon leader on there. And then tied to that, I got 50-pound braid. That was awesome. That felt good. What do you look for in a body of water when you want to target trophy-sized fish? Based on my own personal experience, it comes down to 4 main factors. If you have 2 to 3 of these factors at play, then trophy potential exists. If you have all 4 factors at play, you have a reliable and consistent trophy potential. The 4 main factors in no particular order are excellent cover and structure, abundant forage base, low angling pressure, and large bodies of water. First, excellent cover and structure is important not only for the survival and reproduction of many fish species and forage bases, but also creates cover and ambush points for predatory fish. Oh, another beautiful fish, a little smaller than the last one. Another great pike on that Jake. Things are starting to get good. Let's get him back. Secondly, an abundant forage base is important for obvious reasons. Without food, fish growth will be stunted. Predatory fish that are given a consistent and daily diet of high protein food sources will grow at increased rates. hanging in that anywhere from like 8 to 12 feet of water. And when I see weeds show up on the graph, I just try and work my line around it. I am hooking a few weeds, but the idea is to get them as close to those weeds as you can without getting hooked up in them. Those fish relate to the weeds. It's mostly just sand and a little bit of scattered rock. Clumps of weeds out and around here. It's not like a one big solid weed bed or anything. It's just small clumps of weeds kind of randomly scattered about. See the weeds there, guys? When I see those, I start to steer out and around them a little bit. Try and hold my bait out because there's just clumps of them. And I want my bait to be just on the outside of them. But when I've been getting hooked up, it's whenever I pass a clump of weeds like that. So those pike are either hanging right on the edge of it or right in those weeds. They're not super thick. There might be a fish over the top of them there. But they're hanging right around them, and when they see my bait going by, they crush it. At least that's the idea. Trolling about 2 miles an hour. That's where I'm trying to hold it. Bait seems to run pretty good at 2. Low angling pressure and size of the water body go hand in hand. So this is really point 3 and 4. Larger bodies of water can sustain a certain amount of angling pressure and still produce trophy-sized fish. One might consider the ratio of angling hours per acre of water. The lower the ratio of angling hours to acres of water will greatly increase trophy potential. Considering the 4 keys to trophy fish waters would lead one to fish large, low-pressured waters with abundant cover and forage base. Fish right at the boat. There we go, nice fish. And these fish are just fat as can be. Barely hooked him. Look at the belly on that thing. He's got something in his stomach. He just ate. It's a great fish. Got into some shallower weeds. Now I'm back to casting. Switched over to a classic Rapala, a large one. This guy cracked it right by the boat. I'm using this Rapala here. Not sure what size that is. It's the long one though. You can see in my hand it's probably a good 8 inches long. I don't know if you guys can see the weeds, but there's only a couple feet of water over the top, so I'm trying to keep my rod tip high and then just real slow, just so that Rapala goes right over the top of them. To target these big-bodied, toothy predators, I'm using a number of different bait styles. Some of the main baits that have produced in the past are hard-sided baits, like Muskie Mania's Jake, or the F18 original floating Rapala. On this particular weekend, the Bay de Noc Laker Taker casting spoon shined for me. Fish. Oh, he crushed. Good one. Oh, he crushed. Guys, I just realized he was hooked. I was just jigging a spoon. I wasn't getting them on straight retrieves. This is the best fish of the day. Oh. Oh my goodness, is he fighting? Oh, this is giant. He just woofed that spoon. Oh, there we go. And look at that spoon. That thing is gone. There we go, 30, almost 34 incher. There we go, guys, best fish of the day. 34 incher on the spoon, just jigging that spoon. Absolutely hammered it. Let's get that fish back. That was awesome. Goes. Yes, sun's going down and we just got our best fish of the day. That was so awesome. Yeah, I started on this weed bed earlier today, never had a hit. I just was drifting and doing straight retrieves and it just looked too good not to have a fish on it. So I decided to switch up my presentation a little bit and just do some jigging with a spoon, trying to get it down a little deeper. And it paid off. Man, did he annihilate that thing. Just popping it up and letting it fall. And he crushed it on the fall. You're gonna get some weeds because you're ripping it right through those weeds, but if you can find the edges, like I said earlier, they're just in clumps. Right here, they're pretty dang thick. You can see the bottom is this red line. The weeds all the way up to probably about 5 feet tall. There are spaces in them. Those fish are laying down in those gaps. And sometimes when you're burning a bait over the top there, they're not willing to come up out of there. But if you can get a bait like a spoon or maybe a soft plastic down in between the weeds, right in their face, it's hard for them to resist. Oh, that one came from deep. Jigging, another jigging fish. I'm starting to figure these guys out. There you go. Might be my last fish of the evening. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Maybe you learned something. Thanks for watching, but I'm gonna keep fishing just in case.